There it goes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Healthcare and Life Sciences Meetup group. I'm really excited to, do a Dreamforce tour. This is coming hot off the press, hot off the stage. Look at them on stage there presenting. Shivani and Audrey are presenting on utilizing intelligent document processing to create, to automatically or streamline creating a case. So we're going to hear from both of them in regards to that. So thank you all for being here, or thank you for watching. If you're watching the recording later, I know a lot of people end up doing that. So be sure to put the comments that you your opinion of the presentation, how everything went, and what you're currently working on in healthcare. So really glad to have everyone here. And let me jump over to our next slide, which is our agenda. So we'll do a few introductions quickly. Then we're going to get into Dreamforce 2025 Fun, our presentation, and the next events coming up. So a little bit about the Meetup leaders. I myself am here with you tonight doing the Meetup with you all, but I'm also Meetup leader of Atlanta, Georgia, because I live about 2 hours from Atlanta, Georgia, and from the Salesforce Tower there. Also Women Who Mule, which Shivani will tell you about that. Her and I are Meetup leaders in that group together. And of course, I I didn't realize it, but I kind of helped out with Charlotte, North Carolina, and now I'm being called upon to do the meetings there. So, but healthcare is my passion. It's really what got me into MuleSoft, and so I'm really excited for Shivani and Audrey to share what they are doing at Rush University. So Mark Knox is also one of our Meetup leaders and could not be here tonight, but he is just a great friend, a great muley. He is actually officially retired from Avio Consulting, but he worked with them for a couple of years. And but anyway, great friend. And the other Meetup leader, of course, is Audrey Honeycutt, and a great friend as well. So Audrey, I'll let you introduce yourself. Just really glad to be here with you tonight.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Honeycutt, as Diane said. Also part of the ambassador program with her, hosting the Meetup, and Diane does all the work. I provide a lot of content, but she does a lot of the orchestration, which is very nice and helpful. So. And then also with my coworker, Shivani here.
Yeah. So did this end up being a co-hosted Meetup? Is this all? I know we co-hosted with somebody. Shivani, was it Women Who Mule, or was it New York?
New York City, yeah.
Okay, so we're co-hosting with New York City Meetup as well. So Shivani, I did not put that slide in there, but please go ahead and introduce the Meetup leaders for New York, if you would.
Oh, that's okay. So for New York, I'm one of the Meetup leaders for New York, and I also have Neeraj and Catherine as my co-leaders. And yeah, we're here to talk about IDP.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, Catherine's here too now. You have one brewing for in person in New York too, don't you?
We have one virtual one. That's happening on November, I want to say 8th. We went back and forth on dates, but it's on November 8th. It's on Saturday. The person who is presenting actually goes to college for her master's degree in AI, and she's really excited. It was her first Dreamforce, and she presented, so now she's really excited to present for New York City Meetup group.
Wow. Be sure to hop over to the New York City Meetup group and RSVP for that. Yeah, that sounds great. So the date is already set. It's published, right?
I hope so. Not yet. Maybe not yet, because we were going back and forth on timing. So I think probably will be published tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Well, that's enough about the Meetup leaders. And now I want you all, because I was not there, but I love seeing the pictures, and it's just great to see smiling faces going places. So Audrey and Shivani, share a little bit about Dreamforce 2025. How was it this year?
I thought it was great. I kind of went with more of an agenda this year, which was really helpful because there I learned some things. I learned how maybe a little bit about underutilizing AI in my day to day, and I'm actually working on a project now where I'm trying out a portion of the tool to generate data weave. And so it's pretty exciting because it should really cut down. I've got a mapping with 165 fields, so I'm gonna see what it can do for me. So
Wow. So you picked up some hot tips, huh?
sure, yep,
Oh, that's great.
yep.
Let's see who else is here. Shivani, do you want to share anything about any of the pictures you're seeing or anything that you?
Oh, sure. So this was our second Dreamforce together with Audrey and I, and we're actually really, like she said, we did the whole agenda up front, but at the same time, we went around different parts of the Dreamforce where they're showing different agents, like all these companies like PepsiCo and um, Lululemon, and there were so many different companies how they're using agents to improve their customer service or expedite their fulfillment orders and etc. And even just give a great experience to the consumer. And we kind of went through and reviewed all different use cases. So it was really nice. I thought that was very beneficial. And of course, we had a lot of fun at the concert, and also just meeting up with all the ambassadors. And of course, look at this golden hoodie winner, Shravan.
I
he
know.
was he was happy. He was so happy to receive that golden hoodie, and he deserved it. He does a lot of things for community.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I love the picture of Miguel and Shreven together. That really touched my heart because Miguel's been around for many years and now, yeah, Shreven's done so much. I'm just so excited for him. And look at the smile on his face in that picture. It's just the best. So very
I know
excited.
Karuna is trying to leave that shot. She's like not fast enough. She's trying to leave the shot.
Well, I didn't want to crop her out or the camera that's in the way because it's just too cute. So,
Yes.
So, for these events to go and, I loved going. I missed it this year terribly. I had, some other things going on, but you learn so much. And not only that, but also being part of the MuleSoft community. I had someone in my class today tell me that, they've worked with other product lines, but when they started using MuleSoft, they had never seen a community like the MuleSoft community and how we rally together and help one another and encourage one another. He said, this is very, very rare and at a very, he just went on. I was really touched. I was really touched to see that someone from, the outside, and now he's part of it, because I shared with him, well, get in here, come on, so, it's just really, we do have something quite unique here in the MuleSoft community. The smiling faces tell it all, right? So, but without any delay, I'm going to go ahead and hand over the presentation. Who wants to take the, I'll stop sharing because as mentioned, Shivani, and this is a remake of Shivani and Audrey's presentation at Dreamforce. So I'm going to let them take it over from there. So we're like, getting one-on-one personalized presentation of something that we're all going to benefit and learn from.
So I can do the slides sharing on my machine. As you can see, I'm logged in with two different machines because we're going to do slides on one machine, and then Audrey and I are going to do a live demo where she will share some items and then I'll share some items. So I'll start off by sharing slides. Let me make sure I can share my screen here. So
Yeah, I went ahead and made you and Catherine also hosts. So Catherine, if you want to say hi, you sure can.
Yes, Catherine, go for it while I set up my machine to share.
Here we go. I don't know. You're muted, Catherine. I don't know if you were talking. And Ravi's here also. Mike is unable to. That's weird. I know it's set for some. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, Catherine, because I've got you set as moderator and presenter. I don't know. Sorry about that. Unless it's a certain mic. On this side, Catherine, it looks like you are muted. Microphone is blocked by a permission issue. That's weird. So, Catherine, I'm sorry. Would love to hear from you. You know that. Hey, we're talking about doing a meetup in Atlanta. Catherine lived in Atlanta for a little while. Is that your hometown, Catherine? You have to put that in the chat.
I think she dropped Diane, so.
Oh, okay.
She might come back, maybe rejoin.
Yeah.
But okay.
All right, you. Hey, move that little banner that says hide. See this? Yeah. That's pretty. I love the slide. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about how to streamline case creation using MuleSoft intelligent document processing. Okay, I guess these are the slides from the Dreamforce, so we're going to skip this. Thank you for joining us. And go ahead, Audrey.
Well, we already introduced ourselves, so you can.
Okay, so let's just pass that. Okay.
I can't get into it.
Okay, so here is the illustration of our manual patient referral process. So the Access Center agents review a shared email box and review all the referrals are coming in as a PDF documents there. They're reviewing those documents and then creating the cases, extracting the key data from those documents and creating the cases in Salesforce Health Cloud manually. So that's what we're illustrating here. Now, next slide. This is the automated patient referral process where we're using premium connectors like Microsoft Outlook 365 and the Teams connector here. And then these connectors are reading the shared email box to get the attachments. And then using the intelligent document processing, we're getting the key data out of those PDF documents, and then all the referral data, and then we're using the Salesforce connector in MuleSoft to create the cases in Health Cloud. Now, for any reason, if the case doesn't get created or some key data was not extracted properly out of the IDP, then we're sending alerts on the Teams channel. So end of the day, we do have a human in the loop that if there is some issue happening, they are getting alerts and they're addressing those alerts. But overall, there is no more creating manual referrals. Referrals by reading the emails. It's actually being done through the Outlook connector and then through the IDP.
So it's not hard to see how this is going. This particular automation is going to ease up the workload because we don't constantly have to be copy pasting, monitoring this inbox, and also the speed time to get it to in front of an actual agent and the accuracy. So it's going to be, data that's pulled through the IDP. So it's kind of easy to visualize how this use case is going to do this, right? If you want to go to the next slide. So we're just going to kind of give the, high level, well, it's not really high level. And if anybody has any questions as we go along, please feel free to just jump in. Oh, I guess you can't unmute, but you could put something in the chat and Diane.
Yeah, and I'll watch it closely. So if anybody has anything they would like to ask or have any questions on it, I'll certainly do that. Yeah.
Same as well. I'll be watching the chat and Q&A.
Great. So to start off with, we have to create the document action, which is done on the Anypoint platform. The exciting news that Diane was mentioning is that 2 new large language models have been added to the IDP. So now you're able to select Gemini 2.5 today, and tomorrow OpenAPI will have another new version of that as well. So for us, we're probably going to try out the Gemini 2.5 because it's actually supposed to be performing quite well with this type of data. So although we are seeing good results already, we definitely want to compare. But so what we do is we get into the Anypoint platform, we go to the IDP, and we build our document action, which is simply just the actual template for whatever files we're going to be reading in for what data we want to get. And so we're really learning a lot about prompt instructions, what to do in IDP, what to do in code once we get the result back. We've got some really good tips from a technical architect on the MuleSoft team. And then, so this is just an example of the one we are currently working with patient referrals. So of course, if you're in healthcare, you know that you're going to get patient referrals in every different format of PDF. It's really however the sender decides to send you the referral, right? And so with IDP, the benefit is you create one of these document actions to handle 25 different formats, as you know, and so that's really the cool part of it. So that's what we're doing here. And then once you publish it from the platform, it will end up in your Maven Exchange repository, and you'll get a tile in your Exchange, which is the middle. And then you have this asset that has connectors that are going to get created. And these connectors are what will drop into our code that will actually allow us to send. And then once the document has been processed by the IDP, consume it back. So next slide. So this is another cool premium connector. So not connected to the IDP, but the Outlook 365 is what we were able to implement to read the referral PDFs, right? So the other really cool thing about this is that we had 3 other similar work items that we've already done. So, and because we designed it in a way to be reusable, we're able to use this whole same flow. So we have just certain parameters that go in, as you can imagine, and about which inbox we're looking at, what is the subject line, whatever constraints that you want to have to make sure you're picking up the documents that you really want. And so all we did was go in and define that. And I'm going to show that if we have time to see what the flow looks like and what we did there. But so we get a list of the messages that match the criteria. Then we get the attachment, which is the PDF itself. And then we're going to go ahead and send it on the flow that will post it to the document action. So that what we just saw that we built an exchange, which then the IDP will take on for processing and ultimately result in this case. Okay, so next slide.
Okay, so as Audrey mentioned, once the key referral data is extracted, a case in Salesforce gets created, and then what we do next is once we do the post action to send that document to IDP, we get an execution ID, and we take that execution ID and update the initial case. So keep that in mind, that IDP process is an async process. So once you do the post action, it takes your document and takes the template that you created with all those prompts and then runs a job in the background somewhere. It gives you this execution ID. So you need to take that execution ID and get the results from IDP. So in order to, we wanted to create a solution where we wanted to make sure that the execution ID is associated to the case that we're creating in Salesforce. So, and then another thing is that we also upload the PDF that came in the email to our case, just in case if there were any issues with extracting key referral data or creating or updating a case. User always has ability to go back and review that PDF. So that's what happens here. We're using Salesforce connector to upsert the case with execution ID, upload the PDF, and then we're creating a task.
I'm looking for the emoji to applaud. That's really cool that it does all that. And you've got, so it is attaching the PDF to the case, and in the case itself, creating a task, right?
Right.
Right. Cool.
Audrey, do you want to go with this?
Oh yeah, sure. I thought this was your slide for some reason.
No.
I'm pretty sure it is, but that's okay.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
Do you want to go, or you want me to go? Because I have the next slide for sure.
I'm sorry. Okay, yes, my slide. Okay, so once you send the action to IDP, you're getting that execution ID. So then we have a separate flow that just runs every 5 or depending on frequency 5 or 10 minutes that reads all the cases in Salesforce that does not have key referral data. So that means I need to go and retrieve the referral data out of IDP. So that flow goes ahead and invokes the get document action endpoint, the connector, and gets all the referral data. So now what you're seeing here.
Sorry. So just because this is pretty cool, but just so, because you said it was an asynchronous process, you sent it off to the IDP to be processed. Now we're coming back around and we're checking, hey, are any of these IDs ready to be processed? And we know which they are because we stored it in Salesforce. Now, some people can do it like a webhook or a callback or something, but this just really fit in with this use case. And I think it was a really good solution. So I just wanted to call it out for Shivani. So now we're able to grab those IDs, go back around and pick up the finished result, because it may have taken a minute or two to run. Who knows? It's not instantaneous. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you retrieve the data, you actually get key value and a confidence score. So it actually tells you if your confidence score is low or high, depending on how your prompt is and how the document that was read by IDP. So that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the value and then the confidence score. And you can do the whole logic using the confidence score. There is you can have, depending on if it's low confidence score, the key data value, your referral data may not be accurate, then you can send the value, you can send the alert to our end user through Teams. Or if everything looks good, we just go ahead and update the case, and that's it. That's the end of getting the data and updating the case.
Yep. So exactly that, that's what's showing here. So we evaluate that response. We're learning a lot too about like evaluating confidence scores per field. So say we have a field in there like email address, but we really don't care if we don't have an email address, we can still proceed with the case. We can evaluate or eliminate that confidence score as being a factor of having to go to the manual process with the review, right? So we get to control whether or not it sends a message to teams for somebody to manually review it based on a field by field level, right? So that we're not sending it if we have enough information to create this case, but this other stuff is like nice to have, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. And the one thing I want to say too about the premium connectors, like the Teams one, this is going to be the Teams one. You saw the Outlook one. They handle the OAuth 2 for you. So if you've ever had to handle the complete OAuth 2 flow with a refresh token and all of that, it's a little bit of work. That's embedded into the connectors. It works really well. It stores the refresh token, and the next time this executes, if the actual token is expired, it will take the refresh token, exchange it for a valid token. I just want to say that because as a developer, I've had to manage like the whole thing, and this is so much easier, right? Because it's baked into the connector. And I am in cases where I don't use a connector because I need more flexibility, but these two actually do everything I need them to do. So it's very nice to have. And then the last thing here is, of course, it's gone to Teams. This is a request they wanted. We're able to make it a high importance Teams message or whatever the business use case has asked us to do. And so now they're not monitoring an email box for all these referrals. They're just looking at Teams when they get an alert that one of these may not have adequate data to be a case.
So if there were some required fields or some data that you absolutely had to have before a case was created, or the case is already created at the beginning, isn't it?
Yes, it's already created, correct.
It's not populated. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
the discrete data fields have not been extracted. So we have the shell of a case, and then once the IDP runs, we get the discrete data. It populates those fields for the case. In this case, pardon the pun, it would not be in there. So therefore, it's up for review. Before it gets picked up by the other Access Center agents, because it's typically two different roles in our organization. They monitoring the queue, and then this person monitoring this workflow. So they may be able to combine them now, because there's a lot of things that are changing that might simplify. It definitely simplifies the workflow for them. So.
Yeah. And the connector you're referring to as well, with it being the a premium. So that's I know some people may not realize what that is, but that's essentially there is a cost involved with that, correct? And so, but sometimes that cost, like you say, is handling the OAuth. If anybody's ever done that, you'll understand the pain point, especially on a webhook, or carrying that through each time. That's very time consuming, and sometimes it's a nice trade-off, I'm sure.
And there's two levels, just so you know, like if you own the platform, you will get those connectors. The premium means that MuleSoft has built and support them, but then they're not an additional charge to your platform entitlement. But there are other connectors that fall into that category. And in fact, we use some of them like the HL7 EDI connector. There's like an extra charge. It's nominal for the functionality that you get. So I think that's the only one I have real experience with an actual paid additional actually shows up as a line item on the contract. So
yeah, well worth it, I'm sure.
And then I guess Shivani's got something ready you want to kind of show.
Yeah.
Our presentation at Dreamforce only lasted, it's only 20 minutes, so you got to kind of go quick. So we thought, well, maybe we'll have time to just show a little bit of a demo so you can actually see some of functionality.
Yeah, let me stop sharing here and then go to my other machine and share my, yeah, so let's share here. And I'm going to make sure, so a couple of things I have ready for you guys to see. Let me share here. Now, while I'm getting ready, Catherine, why don't you say something? Now I see you on the screen. I see your microphone working.
Yes, hello. I worked out what I needed to do. But hello, my name is Catherine. I live in Manhattan, New York City, specifically a couple blocks south of Central Park. I've been a MuleSoft developer for about 4.5 years now. I'm currently with Accenture Federal Services as a MuleSoft developer there. And then, yeah, I think I joined Shivani and Niraj around, I think, was it this January or the last January, something like that. I have to look up at the dates, but I'm helping them with putting on New York City MuleSoft meetups, and I've spoken at a couple, and the ones that I have spoken at have been converted to YouTube videos, so we didn't lose that information. But obviously, everything has evolved since then. So, great work all around, for sure.
So yeah, thank you, Catherine. She's been very helpful. I mean, we're doing meetups every quarter. So if you're in New York, New Jersey area, or now even virtual, you can join us.
I think, like closer to, like I know, like right upstate or Connecticut, a lot of people I've met like are coming into town for work anyways. So.
Okay, great. So here you guys should be able to see my screen. This is an example of the connectors that were created. So you have post connector where you can actually post a date, post it to IDP, and then you can get you can use the get connector using that execution ID and get the data. So this is what one of the test I had done earlier. You can see the status. This is the entire status of all the fields that we're extracting, and you can see the values here. Now, let me just go ahead and just debug my process, and we can walk through it. Okay, so let me just make sure, because there are multiple flows going on. First one, I just want to show you guys how to do the post, and then the second one, I'll do the read. So let me make sure the read flow is stopped. Yes, it is stopped. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and debug it. Okay, so it's starting up.
Shivani, while that's deploying, Edson from Mexico said that first he said thanks for sharing the IDP use case. He's already worked with IDP, and he used the post with a callback. That's how he used it. And I mentioned he should share his use case with us. So
yes, you could do that as well. We decided this solution because we wanted to create a case in Salesforce. We just felt that it worked well in our use case where we have a scheduled flow that's continuously running and getting the referral data. But yes, that is absolutely doable as well. So here we're reading the file. Right now, I'm just getting it from my local file structure. I'm reading the file. You can see let me just, oh, 1 second, guys. I was changing over to go to the email, and it looks like I did not stop it. Okay, Audrey, why don't you share and just talk about email real quick? I thought I took it out.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me just stop of course this happens, when you're doing live.
So for the funny, I think you have to unshare because it doesn't give me the option to share right now.
Okay, let me just
stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay, now mine's going to be.
Of course. This is how it is live.
Yeah. No, I think I'm good. I just need to find. See if I do screen if it's going to make a funny echo. So I don't want to see my inbox. Yeah, that's not right. I thought I did entire screen. Oh, I see. I got you now. It's the wrong screen. Okay, how's that look?
Looks
perfect.
good.
Okay, so I did start it, but let me just say that this is what we were talking about. And we already had a lot of stuff going on, and we have a reusable email flow. And so what we did here, and I just did this for this demo because the branch out that Shivani's working on wasn't quite ready. So I just added, basically this took 10 minutes to create the new one, which is going to be, now what I want to call out here is when we do this for real, the scheduler is going to get replaced with like an Outlook connector that will just be monitoring for new emails. So it won't be a scheduler. This was just for this demo. And that connector is just like a file listener, but yet it's listening to the inbox. And when something new shows up, then it will process it. But nonetheless, this is just a copy of the same other stuff that we're doing in the same sort of fashion. We're setting all our email parameters here. So we're just going to read for this new one. I set it up. It'll be the queue for Salesforce, but I set it up so that it would be reading from my local and just picking up this hard-coded referral ID. But this is the flow, and we're just going to run it up to here just so we can see that it will pick up. It's looking based on this criteria, looking for a PDF with a subject line of this in my inbox. And then it basically, you have to do, it could bring, that first object will bring back every email that matches that criteria. So the for each is handling each one that it needs to process. It's kind of funny how you have to list them and then get them, but that's okay because it works. So we get the attachment. That's going to be our PDF. And then this is going to be our stream. And once we have this stream, we'll finish the flow. But then when we come back to here, it will get posted to the create batch case batch subflow and to continue processing with the rest of the stuff. So real simple, maybe 10 minutes after, getting this thing set up. But now we're going to be reading a different mailbox with a different file criteria, but then sending it on its way to do the create case that we've already set up for our other projects. So it's not reusable in the sense that I've created a reusable API, but it's reusable because the flow is reusable because everything was parameterized and able to be used again. So.
Yeah, this was amazing job, Audrey, you did with this. This is such a cool process. And I can just see so many different use cases in our org that we can use it for, So let me go ahead and now I'm ready. So I'll go ahead and share it.
I think that's the kind of the cool thing while you're sharing that, like about the org, is that we started off as, hey, we bought MuleSoft for Salesforce kind of, but now we're doing like lots of different things, like all kinds of different use cases. We're working on Workday integrations and, so just kind of, because in a lot of healthcare organizations, we have the same products, like in terms of, employee capital management, all those things are they're similar. I came from another medium-sized healthcare, all the same products. So it's kind of cool now to get a dive into not just being like Health Cloud.
And making those integrations a lot easier.
Yeah. I can't wait to get agents building my integrations. That's what I'm working on next. So,
Yes.
vibe coding.
So next, all I had to do was comment out one of my flow reference, okay? and now you can see that I'm reading a file like Audrey showed there. I have the file details here, and I'm converting. So a key thing for updating the file to Salesforce, you need to make sure you're not just attaching directly to case. You need to attach it to content object. And then you need to link that content version of that file back to the case. So it's a little bit complicated. I mean, of course it's doable. It's just a little bit complicated than just adding a file to a case. So here I'm in this flow, I'm going to go ahead and create a case. So this is the initial case is getting created. So now when case gets created, I'm getting the case ID in my response. I'll go ahead and save this and we'll go look at it. Okay, and I'm just stepping through because this is where it's uploading the file to Salesforce org and then creating a content version, and then I'm relating that content version to the case. So that's all happened. And then the next portion is going to be sending that PDF to IDP. So here I'm going to go ahead and create a payload to send to IDP. So this is the post action that we're going to do for IDP. And let me just save that ID because I also want to take the IDP ID. So next I'm sending it to IDP post action. And here I should be able to see the response that comes out of the post action, which is the execution ID. So I'll take that also, and we will go into Salesforce org and see what happened there. So next, okay. Once I got the IDP ID, let's go ahead and look at the Salesforce case. So I don't know if you use Salesforce, this is the best tool. It's called Salesforce Inspector. I use it all the time to get details. But here, let me put my case ID here. And I want to see execution ID and also the create date. So we see that it was created just now. So when I run this, you're seeing that I created the case just recently. And if you look at it, execution ID is empty. So let's go back here and step through this. So this should update my case with the execution ID. Okay, so now that's the end of the flow. So if I go back here, I should see my execution ID populated now. I'm going to run it one more time and you can see my execution ID is populated. So now it takes a couple of minutes or maybe fast, I don't know, but I will go ahead and stop this flow and we will run the schedule flow that gets the data. So I'm going to stop this one. And then I'll start my flow that normally gets the data out of IDP. So let's save it. I might have to stop it. We can always take the latest execution ID and check it right here. So I'll go ahead and put the latest execution ID. Oh, that's my case ID. Let me get the execution ID. And here you can see that it succeeded and it has all the values. So now when I go back to the studio, now here it's invoking the scheduler flow, scheduled flow. It will go ahead and invoke the get action subflow. Here I'm going to invoke the query, and basically this query is checking the same thing I did in the inspector. It's looking for new cases. Once I have it, it has only one case that doesn't have the key referral data, so that's what we got. And as you can see here, it's going to go ahead and get the, it's going to invoke the get document action, and that should give us a response back. And the response, let's look at the response. So here, the Postman endpoint, and here is the response. And then once this response is here, I'm just, in our use case, we're also checking to see if I can find the medical record number using the values that are in that PDF. If the patient is already in our org, we want to associate that key value also to the case. So this is our test org, it's not going to find it. So I'm just going to go ahead and update the case with execution ID and key referral data, and that's what the upsert does. So now it's end of it. Let's go and look at the case in Salesforce. So here, this is my case. I'll go ahead and copy that over. Oh boy, 1 second. So now you're seeing the description with the person. And then you can see the file, the PDF file is being attached to the case. And this is how the actual PDF referral file looks. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, someone does have a question in the chat that Audrey is talking to Shika Jane, but it's not relevant to what you are currently doing. So I'll hold back on that question for right now. Does anyone have any questions specifically about the population of the data coming from IDP into the case? I think it's really very, very efficient. And, you know, coming from, you know, having been on a project and seeing the difference of, you know, actually utilizing the data, creating the case, attaching it, as there were some of those steps that we were doing as far as, you know, adding it to, you know, the content type and having it involved there to where the PDF was retained. Is familiar, but then also you're specifically taking the detailed of the, you know, details of the data and adding it to the case. That's really very cool. Yeah. So Audrey, do you want to address the question that she was asking?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking. So the question is, if I had multiple inboxes, would I be able to just like run a single process? And so what I quickly was looking at was, okay, how am I filtering? Now, I did think of something that would be outside the scope of my coding, but in our organization, I would ask our Outlook cloud engineer to create something where all of these emails would go into one so that I could just monitor the one for the flow. I think that would be the solution. Otherwise, I would just, if I really couldn't get that from them, I would duplicate and just, especially if you're going to use the on new event listener, So basically that's, you know, just like a file waiting to land on a directory from SFTP or wherever. I'm listening on that box. So I believe that would be a one-to-one relationship. So it'd be better to have it being funneled in by another, by the actual admin. And that's a standard process in in Outlook. So.
Anyone have a question other than that? I'm curious to know now. So what you're doing when the confidence levels are low, like it did not pass. So your human in the loop is getting did I catch that right? A notification? You're notifying them. And so you have key people who are going to be managing any of the ones that are needing to be reviewed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any, are you seeing any issues with a document just failing? Like maybe it's too large, or maybe it's, are you seeing any failure statuses? Because in the IDP statuses, that is one of them. You getting any of those at all? Do you see those?
Yeah. So I did, earlier Audrey mentioned about prompts and understanding the confidence scores. So when you're designing your document, I had all the fields as 80%. And I noticed that, or 90%. And I started noticing that I was getting a lot of manual process required type of errors. It wasn't failing necessarily getting the data, but it was not giving me the successful response because it was not finding email, because the referral did not contain email field at all. So in that scenario, what we are learning is that you could keep you can design your prompt where you're not really, your confidence score could be lower when you're designing the prompt. So that will not impact your overall status of your document field extraction.
Makes sense. Yeah. I know we were working on it when it had just GA'd, and that was part of the deal, is that it was brand new. So we were having a lot of challenges at that time, but it is better. I'm, hearing, and I know you're having great success with it now, which, is, it's exciting to see. Awesome. Any other questions, or anyone in the audience that, wants to ask anything? Or if you have questions when you're watching this video later and you want to go ahead and post it there, we'll be happy to address it and give you an answer in that regards as well. Also to Edson, if you want to share your use case, I put an email there for you to reach out to us, and we'll be glad to talk to you and see if you'd like to present how you're using intelligent document processing, because it's truly an amazing product. And, to automate in that way, to pull the data, and we're seeing the benefits, Rush University and many other testimonials coming out from this. So it's pretty exciting to see. So would be glad to hear from you all. So let me jump us over here to our final slides here. So I left us off on this one, which is the great fun we have in the MuleSoft community. So definitely become a community member if you have not already. And well, you have now, because you become part of a meetup, so, or at least coming to a meetup. But who is, like I said, send us an email if you would like to participate. Certainly would be glad to have you. Our different meetup groups are represented here for the Healthcare and Life Sciences meetup group, as well as New York City. We're co-hosting this together virtually. And so, be sure to find us again. I know sometimes you can RSVP for a meetup, but you're not necessarily become a member of that group. So if you would like to do that, be sure to do that as well. It's been a while since I've myself logged into a meetup and done that. So make sure that I'm not sure exactly where that is in the meetup group as far as that's concerned, but we'd love to have you, and we appreciate y'all being here. And that is, where was this event at? Is this at Dreamforce itself or the executive? Was this at the tower?
It's before the executive summary in the tower. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of smiley faces there also. And I'm sure it was a great time. So I thank you all for being here. Any closing thoughts from any of our meetup leaders?
Thank you for hosting this, Diane.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. And thanks you guys for joining as well. Tuning in.
Thank you.
Awesome things that Shivani and Audrey have presented us tonight.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and that's, really getting to see it, in use, and knowing that it's really saving humans time. We need to have these computers help us out so we can be out enjoying ourselves too, but saving a lot of time. So thank you. And thank you for the replay on Dreamforce. I'm sure, that you're on stage for 20 minutes. It goes so fast,
Yeah.
And you're like, by the time you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about your content, it's just zooming by. So we had a full hour of, really being able to, get a demo and really see more details about it and be able to ask questions. So thank you both for doing that. And Catherine, also thank you for being here too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, all of our guests. We look forward to seeing you again. So thank you. Have a great evening.
See ya.